Year 9 students who are going into Year 10. Again, just checking you're on the right video. This is video lesson number 3. So here we go, guys. So last lesson we had a second part to safe studio practice, and we finished with the slide with the following questions on. So by the end of that lesson you should be able to answer those. So we're going to just do a little recap and a test on what you can remember. So if you want to pause the video now and have a quick think back, you might want to have a quick look at your notes, but ideally you'd know it already in your head. So I would pause it if you need a bit more time and then move on to the answers. Answers on the next slide. So the answers are as follows. Obviously we need layers of clothing, clean dancewear, loose but not baggy, good support coverage, trousers don't drag on the floor, etc. The risk assessment is how you make sure you're involved with safe practice. So keeping safe, risk assessment, appropriate clothing as above, warming up, cooling down, safe execution of moves, you need to get that one in there, and the hydration. The safe studio that we worked on in week 1 would ensure that you've got obviously everything you need to have checked is all there. Now then, we left with the healthy balanced diet focus where you had a blank plate and you had to fill in what would be, so it's an exam question and it was for 3 marks, and the first exam question was for breakfast. So you could have had put something like a poached egg on wholemeal bread, that would be 2 marks, water, orange juice and a banana, so you'd actually get about 4 marks there. You might have put cereal, that's fine. Normally with cereal you'd put something to do with that's got some fibre in it, so some all bran, some bran flakes, anything of that variety, semi-skimmed milk. Lunch, you could have put something like a tuna pasta salad or tuna pasta with sweet corn, an apple, and really importantly, a drink of water. So water's obviously been mentioned in both there because obviously we know that is really important. So hydration is important because it will help to prevent muscle fatigue. It will flush out the toxins, and if you've done some in PE, lactic acid is the waste product that our muscles produce. It helps to flush lactic acid out. It helps prevent dizziness and prevent, obviously when you perform you will sweat, so it will help to replace and replenish the fluid needed. And the fluid is also needed so that we can dance full out, and it helps our joints to remain fluid. So you've got loads of joints, synovial joints, and they obviously need to move really freely, either ball and socket or hinge like this action, and the water helps to keep the joints fluid. So they are the answers. Moving on, so if you want to obviously pause or go back, that is fine, do that now, and then I'm going to move on to this week's topics. Okay then guys, so this week's lesson focus is along the same themes, and we're going to look at warming up and cooling down. Obviously this also forms part of safe practice. So the first, the main key facts that I want you to learn, which is similar to lesson objectives, is by the end of the session you should be able to understand what happens to the body when we warm up, identify the 4 parts to a warm up, understand what a cool down is and how this helps the body. So we're going to start off just having a think about this, so you can just have a read of this slide. So I would pause it, have a quick read, and it might help you to think, you know, it's a really nice way to think about why we warm up. So have a read of that one. So lots of different reasons. Obviously the main ones, if you got asked it in an exam, it's to reduce the possibility of injury, to improve performance, and we also really need to remember it helps us to mentally prepare. So psychologically the warm-up gets us ready for the more intense exercise that follows. So what happens during the warm-up? I'd like you to make notes on this page. So the body temperature and heart rate raises which will result in increased blood flow to the muscles. That will obviously then allow the muscles to get their energy, because the energy is carried in the blood. The blood carries oxygen, as we've just said, which will fuel the muscles, and the increased flow of blood will also help to warm them up, because it will get right deep into the core. That in itself will mean that we are less susceptible to injury. The nerve messages from the brain to the limbs will speed up. So it's starting to wake your body up, and like I said, it's really important to get it ready for more intense work that will follow. The joints and ligaments are lubricated. As we said, that's also the importance of water. So there are 4 stages of an effective warm-up, and what I'd like you to do is draw this out. And as you can see, there's a little arrow underneath each one of them, because you're going to take notes under there on the next 4 slides. So pause the video now, draw out that chart with the little arrows coming off each segment. So what I want you to do now is, at the bottom of the chart where you put those arrows, so on the first one, the pulse raiser, I want you to write down these bullet points. We always start off in class with a 3 to 5 minute pulse raising activity. These might be jogs and bounces across the room. We always go from the left and the right hand side, so we warm up both sides of the body, get the brain working both parts. It could be going in different directions, it could be dodging, it could be loads and loads of like high knees, heel flicks, things you do in PE as well, to pulse raise and get that heart rate up. The second section is the mobility section. Now with me in our warm-ups, that would involve rhythmical swinging movements. So arm rotations, leg rotations, movements of the back, bending knees, isolations, and loads of swinging actions, as I've mentioned. So write those out, pause if you need. Third section is flexibility. So this will involve stretching large muscle groups and making sure that any areas, particularly, if you've got a weakness anywhere, you look to really thoroughly stretch that out before you move on. We actually work on improving flexibility though in a cool down. So this part is just warming up. If you want to do a flexibility program, you would incorporate into your cool down once you are really, really warm to the core. Pause and copy down on your chart. And the final stage of the warm-up is called core stability. So this is where we focus on exercises to do with body alignment and the use of the centre of the body. So all the things that we've done within PE, if you've done some circuits with us maybe, such as planks, such as sit-ups, such as crunches, bicycle works, and we try and really build on the abdominals so that you can maintain a strong core. Very important for turns, for jumps, for balance, for contact work. So pause and copy down. So what I'd like you to do, the next task, is you're going to have a go. Normally you would then do those different sections of a warm-up in class with me, but obviously because we can't do that at the moment, I'd like you to have a go at doing your own. So put together the 4 parts of a warm-up and see how you get on. The cool down. So the cool down defined is a slow and gradual decrease in the effort exerted through the exercise. The aim of a cool down is to lower the heart rate, to lower your core temperature, to help remove the waste products, and to prevent all of that really together will help to prevent muscle soreness. So we do similar exercises to what we did at the start in the warm-up, but we slow it right down. And you want to get your breathing back to normal, your state of mind nice and calm and relaxed. We might include breathing exercises. If you want to work on flexibility, this would be the time to do it. Smaller arm swings, really relaxing through the body, and basically trying to bring us back to the before, so it's returning to a state of rest. So the final recap is just to see, make sure you can remember these key facts. You will need to be able to name the 4 parts of the warm-up. You will need to be able to say why we warm up. You will need to be able to, I've already said that one, say why we cool down and how you might perform a cool down. So on the next slide, I've given some more reading to do. So have a little look at those articles and that will also give you a bit more information. Here it is now. So the articles look like that. So a bit more lengthy reading, but I find they are really interesting. So if you get a chance, please have a little look on those. That will just embed it and put a deeper understanding into your mind. Now I've talked quite fast today because my laptop, I'm struggling to upload things. So as I said, I think last week, they've asked me to try and do slightly shorter videos. So obviously go back through it. If you've got any questions, email me at elmeek@johnfernley.org. And I look forward to seeing you in video lesson number 4. Good luck, guys. Take care. Bye.